J Bills from Media Spotlight UK, and I'm here with the one and only Gabriel Silva in the building.
Appreciate you, man.
Well, firstly, I just seen like your T-shirt. Like we were just talking off camera. Like I don't know if you want to show the camera, but literally, like it looked like it's mainstream appeal
Like
the way
I'm
it looks.
Superman. I just go like, save the day.
So
gotta save the day.
So from like Clark Kent to like Superman.
Yeah. Like it was like the whole inspiration. I was like, whenever I put it like, especially big on the T-shirt like that, I wanted to have like a big impact. So then whenever I would see superheroes like Venom and like Spider-Man and Superman, like as soon as like Spider-Man would go out of his office job, rip up the suit,
and then get to work.
Crazy, get to work, get busy.
So who is your favorite superhero of all time then?
At the house is me personally. I gotta go with. Maybe I would say Wolverine, but everybody at the house loves Spider-Man, so I'll say Wolverine and Spider-Man. Those two is like gotta go to.
Is it literally like the sparkle? Is that the claws? Is it the intensity from Wolverine? Is that what you like about him?
Yeah, I just like his instincts. He's a sharp guy. Always has that beast in him, and I could relate to that. So
yeah. And this is your first time in the UK?
Yeah, first time. I'm loving it so far.
So like, how long you been here for? Has it been a couple of days?
Oh yeah, it's been about 2-3 days. Yeah, it's been cool so far.
Okay, so I mean, it hasn't let you down so far because like we have a reputation of having really shit weather.
No, the thing is, I was just talking to everybody. I'm from Curitiba, Brazil. So if you guys don't know that, that's like about 3-4 hours away from Rio. And it's always like this same weather, gloomy, cold, always raining. So me and my brother was like, bro, it feels like home. Like it's super weird. Besides like the aesthetics, like here looks kind of like a Harry Potter type of city. Like
I swear, do you know what? I'm not even from here. Like compared to London. So if you compare London to Newcastle, London you can kind of see it's really city. It's like it's like luxury city.
Yeah, like urban.
Yeah, kind of. You got different places, but it's in Newcastle. My first time here, I'm looking about it. I said like. All of these architectures, it looks like some fantasy world.
Yeah, but it's dope because it gives that aesthetic. It's like I'll do it. I feel like I'm in a Harry Potter movie right now, man. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Well, I mean, you're here. You're here for your fight against Ben Davies.
Yeah.
Obviously, I know that you've had a few fights under your belt before. And I know, like, with your MMA background as well.
Yeah.
What got you involved? Like, what was the call like in terms of getting you involved in this space? Because I'm hearing it was just like an offer was made and you thought, let me take it.
Dude, honestly, like my last fight was in April, and then I didn't have nothing locked in until the end of the year. So I was like, man, I'm trying to get busy. I'm trying to get active. So what I was thinking, I already knew Mims and those guys in Misfits, obviously because of Tommy Temper in here. So I called up his manager. I was like, yo, it would be cool to, just to get busy, feel familiar with that space, and if we like it, might as well, make a couple of fights in there. And I feel like it's good. A lot of the kids been getting better. They've been working hard. So a lot of them looking way sharper than they used to. So I was like, yeah it's not that.
So it must be inspiring for you to see, because obviously, it's only been a year. Yeah. Like, it's been set up, and, we're seeing homegrown talent that are being pushed. Who's been impressing you so far?
So far, I could see guys like, there's a lot of guys. Dean, of course, we're trained together, so but Dean, I know he comes from a boxing background. Like, he's always been sharp. Guys like King Kenny, Saul Poppy, those guys been looking a lot better. Even KSI and his brother, like, they've been working hard, and they be looking in great shape. So that's why we're seeing better results, when it comes to their fights and stuff. Better performance. They look a little more relaxed, like having a little bit of more ring time. Because that's the thing. These guys, they don't come for. It's the same for me. I could say we don't come for amateur background, so we have to catch up quicker than the guys that have been doing it for years. So I feel like they've been doing that quite good, actually.
Because I hear that you've been training with Dean, part of the camp and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, has there been stuff that Dean has been teaching you along the way, especially being in the influencer world? Like, this is your first taste at it. Like, has there been things that you picked up that you feel that you can be ready to be as part of family in this space?
Yeah, a lot of it, man. I mean, Dean is a guy that's been doing, especially in this space, he's been doing. So obviously I look up to him because he's been doing it in this space for a while. So, every time he is dropping some game, he got some advice to give. I'm definitely open to listen, man. I'm an open book. I always listen to advice from my trainers, from people that have been doing it for longer than me, because why wouldn't I? It's just extra. It's just extra to add into my game,
Because, of course, obviously, like, your dad, Anderson Silva, legendary MMA fighter, what I want to firstly ask is, obviously, because you've grown up in a family of like being that sort of legacy of kickboxing, MMA like sort of experience.
Yeah.
How has it been in terms of like having someone that supports you directly, that is part of that world, and obviously you're just in the beginning stages of being in this world? Like, how has that helped you to be in this sort of mental space now?
Yeah, I mean, it helped a lot. Having a guy like my dad that's been doing this combat sports for borderline 30 years, like 25 years plus. So it's always good, you know, especially that my brother now I get to help with the stuff that my dad's telling me. I'm applying in the gym, and it's like, oh, bro, you should do this a little better. Look at some of his footage. So my brother's helping me out. So it's just like ongoing just conversations about like how to improve and how to be a better, not just as a boxer, but a human being in general too, you know.
And of course, obviously, Brian Flores is another person I'm hearing about in terms of, obviously, he's on the Misfits Council. How has he helped you? Because obviously, like he's had, you know, being in the Misfits Council, and obviously, you know, having worked with Jake before. Like, how has that pushed you even further, like to, you know, to be ready for this space as well?
Well, I haven't really got a chance to speak to Brian yet, but yeah, I'm pretty sure he, you know, if he's into the space, is definitely is to help to help it improve it and take it to the next level. So yeah.
I mean, of course, like obviously, you know, you getting into the space now, like with your dad Anderson. Do you feel like, obviously, do you feel a lot of pressure on you to continue the family legacy because of how successful like your dad has been in the MMA world, or is it a thing for you where you're just looking at your own entity and just wanting to put your own legacy and your own spin on things without the pressure of, oh, this is my dad or what he's done? How are you looking at things in that way?
Well, when I first started, that was my idea. I gotta live up to the name. I gotta continue this legacy. You know, it's just like I was seeing like a lot of crazy guys in the UFC. I was like, oh my God, I can't look at this anymore. I gotta go up there. But it was never my passion. You know, my thing, it was like always boxing. Like when my dad first opened the Muay Thai college, there used to be boxers there. I used to be watching. I used to be fascinated by like the sport and the purity of it. So. I just felt like, you know, I got to a point that it was just like I did my little kickboxing Muay Thai career. I did everything I could to live up to the name Silva. Like, oh, I've been there, but now it's time to do it for me and build my own legacy, but still building that foundation, saying that the Silva name's still here. It doesn't matter if we're doing kickboxing or boxing. My brother wants to go into MMA. It doesn't really matter, but we're just our own entities, and we're going to work the best out of it to keep the name alive for sure.
So obviously your first the next opponent, Ben Davies.
Yeah.
What are you expecting in terms of getting into the ring with him? Obviously he's a play-by-play commentator. This is his first experience. How do you see him potentially as opponent? Because obviously there's not much we can work on him.
Yeah.
Like, how are you going to be able to navigate that? But knowing you've had experience in MMA, you've had experience in boxing, so you kind of know where you're going with this, right? Pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, he signed the contract, so there's nothing I could do. It's like I wish I could go in there and teach him a few things how to do it in there, but he signed the contract. He set himself up, so you already know what's about to happen.
So is this long term for Misfits? Is that where you're going to with this, or are you looking to go back to, you know, doing other things in the meantime and then maybe come back?
Potentially. I don't know. We're gonna go through this fight and see what we can do, see what we can make it happen. But I wouldn't mind. Yeah.
Yeah. And is there any like dream opponents in the space that you feel that might be someone that you want to have the challenge for as well?
In this dream, I wouldn't know, because everything could be done nowadays. Is all in terms of sitting down and having a conversation.
Sure.
But I want to get that back for Wenderson, man. The way King Kenny did him.
Oh yeah, Brazil versus Brazil.
Oh man, he wore the Brazilian collars, man. He came out of some Brazilian music. I'm like, man, I'll get it back in blood for you, bro. Don't worry about it.
How did you think of his performance against King Kenny? Because did you see that happen?
I felt like he got gun shy. You know, I think he fell down to the pressure a little bit, because I know he could box. Like I met Wenderson before, and I know he's better than that. He fought Freitas. I mean, they put a. Yeah, that's a former 4-time world champion, and they put a great show in Brazil. So I know that he could fight better than that. I think you know, we have days, man. I just think it wasn't his day, you know? Yeah.
I mean, you know, and finally, of course, obviously, now that you're here, you're getting a taste of this. You know, what's long term for you at this point? Like, you know, and even down to like the Prime card, obviously, you know, JJ versus Tommy Fury,
that's gonna be a great card.
Dylan Dennis versus Logan Paul. How have you seen that all play out for you?
Yeah. Well, I wanted that card originally. That's the card that I wanted to get into, and we discussed it. We went back and forth a lot of times, but I feel like October would have been too late. So I was like, let me take that September, and then we'll go from there. But I mean, it could still happen. I don't know. Let's say I knock this kid out in like 10 seconds, and he's like, oh, you want to go to the Prime card? I'll take that too. Easy money.
So you're thinking, let me sort out Ben and then see if I can get the Prime card.
Yeah, I mean, Ben's not gonna let, but let's be honest, he's not gonna last there long. I mean, even if he does, I mean, whatever. It's not like I'm gonna get hurt or injured like that. I have to take a long layoff. I could still do both. So, you know.
All right. Well, yeah. I wish you all the best for your fight this Saturday, and you know, we hope to see you more in the Misfit space. And you know, congratulations on everything. You know, family legacy and everything. I wish you all the best, brother.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you.